Utilizing the waste reduction job aid at Starbucks. This is a presentation intended for Starbucks store managers by me, Starbucks store manager, specifically to my peer team, just to talk about what we can do to truly eliminate waste in our stores. So, as an organization, we create a tremendous amount of waste because of the sheer volume that we do. We have a massive global responsibility to eliminate that waste where we can, and it's up to us individually to do so in our stores, both as stewards of our business and the brand itself. And we need to do this because landfills have limited space. Consumption is at an all-time high. The business is doing great for us, which means that we're generating more waste. In a business, less waste means more to contribute to the bottom line. So simply put, if we are able to eliminate some waste, then we are able to contribute more profit in our stores to the bottom line. We have a fundamental responsibility to eliminate waste wherever we can, just because we are such a global profit for business or for-profit business. We are so large. We already get a lot of scrutiny from the media anyway, due to the fact that we are politically involved and things like that. So in general, if we are able to do better in terms of waste, then not only are we doing ourselves a service by truly contributing more to our bottom line, but we're also going to be able to drive more customer traffic within our stores because we show up in a better light within our communities. So every single store has waste. All of us have a different level of waste. It comes from a lot of different places. We have paper and plastic waste, where simply we drop cups on the floor or we overutilize them for a customer need. We could have dairy waste, where we're simply just maybe not doing our job specifically well enough in terms of creating set bars for ordering. So we're dumping more milk down the drain. We're maybe not training our baristas properly, so they're over pouring. We have food waste, so it could be just a simple operational gap where we're actually throwing away food because we're pulling too much. We're generating too much food, more than we can sell. We have whole bean coffee waste, where maybe we're just not utilizing the brew batch guidance properly, so we could just be dumping coffee down the drain. We could be wasting labor. Maybe it's an aspect of our baristas using too much time on tasks in the day. And additionally, time and movement are amongst these things as well, but specifically when we're talking about things that cost us money that are tangible, that we can measure. Paper and plastic, dairy, food, and whole bean coffee are the biggest offenders of waste in our stores. Each of our stores is a little bit different. I know that my store specifically is one that focuses on speed of service. It focuses on meeting the customer need in a way that is fast, that is efficient, that is correct. However, for example, in our audience, we have Ben over here, whose store may serve a different need. It does serve a different need in the community. It's one of warmth. It's one where there's no drive-through. It does a lower volume. And specifically, that store has customers who like to sit, to study, to utilize the space in that way. So no stores are alike, and that's what makes our business so beautiful. However, every single store still struggles for waste. And because no stores are alike, all of our customers, all of our baristas, they have different needs. And that generates a different kind of waste in every single one of our stores. Therefore, there is not going to be a one-size-fits-all solution to reducing waste in all of our stores. In order to plan to reduce waste in our stores and for it to be sustainable, it's extremely important for us to strategize around that store's specific needs. So there is a call to action to reduce waste. We know it exists. We know that we have to do it, both on a global scale and also for our businesses. And it's really important for us to consider how we're going to answer that call. So I could give you so many solutions in terms of how to reduce waste. We have so many solutions on how to reduce waste. However, specifically, I think that it's important for a level of sustainability for these solutions to actually exist in our stores and continue on, that we custom fit each solution to our stores specifically. So current state, each of us has a copy of the profit and loss statement specifically for my store so that we can read it together and understand exactly where the waste is coming from on an individual level. I know personally that we can see on all of our statements that you'll see a list of somewhere between $1,300 to $2,600 in waste every single month. So for some stores, the cost of waste is going to be significantly higher. And we're all going to struggle with different things. But if you look at the copy of my P&L that I provided you, you can specifically see that my store does struggle with a little bit of dairy waste. So you can see that a lot of our waste dollars are going specifically towards dairy. That's where it's the highest for us. As compared to, say, for example, the handout that you have for Rose's store in front of you, that's going to look a little bit different. In terms of that store, you can see that paper is the problem. And all of this is because of the way that we have different stores. Rose's store is downtown, more people are carrying products to go. She may struggle from a lack of storage space within her store for paper products. And so it could just mean that there's not enough shelf space and therefore they're having to order more frequently. As for me, it could be a fact of us needing to deliver more product quickly. And so maybe we're dumping a little bit more milk down the drain. It's all different. So future state. In the future, we should be able to eliminate or reduce waste by a large amount on the store level. We should be able to contribute more to our bottom line in our stores, and therefore profitability is going to increase. We should each be confident in our ability to own our businesses, and we should be operationally excellent. And gaps in the store should be closed, and therefore when one of us leaves, it's not a mess that we need to clean up, because we've all been there. We've all taken over a store before that hasn't necessarily been where it needs to be or by our standards. So by eliminating waste in a way that is streamlined, individual to the stores, when we all move on to our next places, the next person to receive a store will not be in a place that we've all been in the past. So if we're looking at a continued future state, when we're talking about it in terms of our partners, reducing waste shouldn't be some insurmountable mountain that we have to overcome. In a future state, it should be easy. So the quality of work life is improved for our hourly partners because we've done most of the legwork done or for them in a very easy way. The job should be easier simply because they're wasting less time going after a product that would just be thrown away in general anyway. Turnover will be reduced because the baristas are working less hard. And in terms of a global scale, we are environmental stewards both in our stores and in our communities. So how are we going to do that? The waste reduction job aid that I know that I've talked to so many of you about over and over again at this point. But the concept is that we are able to individually meet the needs of our stores specifically by asking questions of the stakeholders. So the stakeholders are going to be our baristas, they're going to be our customers, so that we, in turn, by the end of the use of the job aid, have a solution that's going to be best for every single one of them. So after step one, which is in fact determining the waistline on your P&L, which you can see in front of you, step two is going to be actually asking everyone in our stores what would make it easier for them to reduce waste. And we can do this by survey form so that we're not wasting paper. And then step three is going to be to target that specific waste item so that it's catered to every single store. And then the fourth step is to review. So when we're reviewing, we should be able to actually see the work that we've done in reduction and waste lines on our P&L. So my idea for us is that our jobs aren't made more difficult by the solution, right? Our jobs are already complex. So we already deal with so many competing priorities every single day. The lack of work-life balance for so many of us is very real, and the need to contribute to the business growth while also taking care of our partners is something that exists. So we need to be balancing customer needs, and we have complex businesses. So I completely understand personally that when we have all of this going on, it's very easy to look at one job aid as another thing to do. It's very easy to look at a task such as reducing waste and using a tool to do it as another thing that we just have to do that's tacked onto this list. But that's not the idea. The job aid should make it more simple, and in the long run, it should make it a lot easier to actually reduce waste in our stores in a long-term and sustainable way. And ultimately, while it is a task to be done at hand one time, the idea is that it should eliminate some rework for us in the future. So we should be making our jobs more simple. So please, I ask, just don't look at the job aids as another item on your to-do list. It would be great to not have to solve problems as critically as we do. You know, if we were able to solve the problem the correct way one time, then we wouldn't have to look at the same problem critically every single month and look for a creative solution. So I have a call to action for you. I want to challenge each and every one of you to begin targeting waste in your stores and picking one line specific item, finding out what it is that you're wasting the most of, all right? So in the following weeks, we should be able to take the next steps of the job aid together. We should be able to come up with a creative solution together for each and every person in every single store. and find something that works. So I am challenging you today to be a steward in your community. I'm challenging you to truly own your business, and I'm challenging you to truly take care of your partners by simply just taking step one. Thank you so much for planning your time with me today. I really appreciate it. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them now.